Thank you for volunteering to be an usher. As an usher, you are a very important part of the worship service. You will help visitors have a favorable first impression when visiting Peace Lutheran Church. This video is designed to be a guide for you to help provide a meaningful worship experience to members and guests alike. You should plan to arrive 15 to 20 minutes before the worship service starts. This will give you ample time to prepare for your duties. All ushers are asked to wear a name tag. They are located on the center table in the entrance area. The credenza is where you'll find a checklist. The offering plates you will use later are usually in the section of it with the double swing doors. If there aren't any or in one of the drawers, check up front to see if they were put away from the previous service. You may want to look through the drawers of the credenza to see what's all in it. There is a large print book prepared every week with hymns and order of worship, usually on top of the credenza. Worship attendance slips are in the top left-hand drawer. Good time to take attendance is during the first lesson. One copy of the attendance slip is put in the offering plate during the offering, and the other is given to pastor after the worship service. In an emergency, there is a first aid kit along with rubber gloves and vomit cleanup materials. Two of the central doors to the sanctuary should be propped open until worship begins. Two ushers should stand outside the central doors, one on each side, to hand out bulletins as people enter the sanctuary. Don't forget the children's bulletin for children. It doesn't hurt to ask if they want one. Located in the sacristy are extra wicks and tapers for the acolyte's candle lighter, if needed, along with the lighter. They're in the drawer under the sound system cabinet. This is also the place you will find hard of hearing devices. After worship is started, open and close the doors for late arrivals. Please do not seat people during prayers of any kind. If something special is going on during worship, you can use your own judgment and ask people to wait a minute. Before worship, send one person to check on the nursery, down the hall past the restrooms. There should be two helpers in there. If we're missing people, please let the pastor know so he can make an announcement asking for help. The beginning of the teaching moment is a good time to notify the nursery personnel to get the kids prepared for the children's sermon. Also, listen in case you will be receiving the offering during the children's sermon. There's a speaker with a volume control in the hallway leading to the side of the sanctuary door. The usher or nursery attendants should listen for when pastor asks the kids to come forward. Remember to count the children during the children's sermon. 4 ushers are needed to collect the offering. As the offering music begins, 2 ushers should walk up the center aisle, and 1 other should walk up each outer aisle, hand plates in an alternating manner, working towards the back of the church. When all the offerings have been collected, 1 usher should carry the plates down the aisle and hand them to the acolyte or pastor. Pause for a moment before walking back to the rear of the sanctuary.
Here in the sanctuary, there are 2 main things that happen. The first one has to do with the offering. If you can have 4 ushers for the offering, that's ideal, 2 down the center, 2 on each of the sides. The second piece has to do with communion. When it's time for communion, what we would like is to have 2 people here in the center aisle. We don't need to have somebody standing in the front as a gatekeeper. We've decided not to do that anymore. People can figure it out. But when it comes time for getting people to come forward, we're looking for 15 to 18 people per side. Obviously, don't break up families or things like that. Nevertheless, in addition to that, when we are about halfway through the group that's up there, get the next group up and going. It helps us because it keeps the flow going better. Plus, for people who are disabled or in any way frail, it gives them time to get up there without feeling rushed.
If needed during a communion service, there are extra supplies in the sacristy cabinets on the side with the sink. During the last hymn, the worship leaders walk down the center aisle. During that time, use the rubber stops to prop open the 2 center doors. After the service is over, 1 usher can empty the offering into a deposit bag. It is located in the sacristy under the sound system cabinet. After worship is over, please help straighten up the hymnals in the pew racks. Walk through all pews collecting used bulletins and extra paper and move all the red attendance pads to the end of the pew close to the center aisle. Don't tear the sheets out of the attendance pad. A volunteer will come do that during the week and take care of all of that. There are 2 sets of light switches, one behind the organ and the other towards the center of the sanctuary on the southern wall. The heating and air conditioning are controlled by 2 preset thermostats on the southern wall in the sanctuary. If the sound system goes crazy, just turn it off. It's better not to turn on the ceiling fans. We will have a separate training video for emergencies. The short version is Call 911. There are phones in the kitchen and offices. Thanks for your time watching this video. We hope it helped you. If you have any other concerns during the week, feel free to give the office a call and someone will get back to you. Thank you again for being an usher. These services don't happen on their own. They become meaningful and wonderful experiences for everyone involved because of all the people behind the scenes.